welcome back to my channel. Today we're filming another episode of the Lunar Knits Podcast. My name is Lori and I am your host here. And again, it's been a while, but I woke up this morning to some good news and I just felt really inspired and motivated to film a podcast, so here we are. I don't have any finished objects to show you today, and it's not a whole lot of exciting works in progresses either. But there is a couple of new cast-ons that I have to show you, and one kind of fail that I'm also going to share with you before I make my final decision on it. So like I said, I literally just rolled out of bed, made myself some breakfast, gave my dog a treat, and here we are. So I might have my morning voice still, which is fine. I may look like I just rolled out of bed, which is fine because I put on a knitted sweater and we're here to film, so I think that's all that matters. And we're gonna ride this wave of good vibes and feelings and good news and everything, and we're just going to have a good old time here on my podcast. I do want to say once again that this is an inclusive platform, so I want everybody to feel safe and welcome here. So we're just gonna talk about yarn and knitting and maybe a couple of updates if they slip out. But without further ado, let's get into knitting. So before I talk about the things I'm working on, I'm just going to briefly go over the sweater that I'm wearing. This is my rug sweater by Junko Okamoto, and I knit this last year in December, so it's almost been a full year since I knit this sweater. And today is like perfect weather. I think it's gonna be in the low 60s. It's raining right now, and I just thought I'd throw this on. I had my pajamas on, and I just said, Lori, put on a sweater, it's perfect. So here's my rug. I haven't showed it to you guys in a while, and I actually haven't even gotten to wear it really because I finished it in December, and then everything kind of happened, so I can't wait to wear it this year, hopefully. So this sweater is knit out of Knit Picks' Wonder Fluff, which is an alpaca blend yarn. It has like a cotton nylon casing, and then it has alpaca blown through it, so it's very lightweight, very fuzzy, very warm. And it worked perfectly for this pattern because this is a huge sweater, and if you use like a heavier weight yarn, it's definitely going to pull down a lot, and I don't have that happening with this. It is a bulky weight yarn, so it doesn't feel bulky on my shoulders or anything like that. That tends to happen whenever I use heavier weight yarns, and I don't really like that feeling, which is primarily why I use fingering weight yarns, as you guys can see. Oh, also, I did a poll on Instagram to see if you guys would be interested in a yarn tour, and everybody said yes, so that's definitely coming. Leave a comment down below of what you kind of want me to review in the video, such as what patterns I'm using, the colors, what information that you guys want. Just leave a comment down below if you are interested in that video and what you would want to see in that video. But I have some very exciting things happening within the next couple of months, so I'm going to film that as that goes on, just because I think it'll be easier and I'll have more time. So by the end of the year, that video will be coming. I don't anticipate adding any more yarn to my collection than what's already here. I definitely have plenty, and I would love to share that with you guys because I love to talk about yarn and knitting, which is why I have this platform. So yeah, before I move on any further, I just wanted to see if you guys would be interested in any videos that were not yarn related. I think I asked this in a podcast a while back, but I have some very exciting things happening in my life and some projects that I will be doing that aren't knitting related, and I thought that it could be fun to document that. And I would love to keep everything on this channel because this is kind of like, I've had this channel for like 11 years now, so I think it'd be fun to just keep adding to it and growing it and expanding it as I expand and grow and learn. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below as well. But back to the sweater. It's like a swancho style sweater, so it's a little oversized, and it's got some gorgeous color work, and there are some really long floats in here, so if you are thinking about knitting this pattern, beware of that. It is a free pattern, however, it's not very size inclusive. I do believe it's one size fits most, so I'm sorry about that. It is free, so you kind of have that give and take there, which I do hate, but at the same time, I understand that the designer, she can't always do that with free things, but I know a lot of her other patterns are a little bit more size inclusive, and she has a lot of really unique patterns, and I have a couple of them on my list to knit as well. So The Rug Sweater by Junko Enomoto. Sorry that was all over the place. I took lots of tangents there, but you guys got the gist of it. I do have some episodes in the past where I talk more in detail about this, and I also do have a Ravelry page for it, which is mostly just pictures. I don't really add any other information on it, so it was a very quick knit, and I highly recommend it if you like it. So yeah. All right, let's move right into works in progress. The first one I'm going to show you is kind of a fail. So it's a sample knit that I was doing for 614 Knit Studio for the Boho Romance crop, and I've been working on it for a while, and I think it's the thing that's been stressing me out and not bringing me any joy and making me not want to knit any. So I have decided I'm going to send it to her unfinished, and that's a decision that was really hard to make for me, but I think it's going to be for the best for my mental sanity and everything such. So here it is. I did finish the entire body, and I will say that the piquette bind off was extremely fun to do, and I hope to do it again in the future on a project. And I am using Jill Draper's Kingston yarn. And I was doing a yarn review video for this. I probably will not put that video out anymore because I'm not going to be blocking this piece. I threw the sleeves on waste yarn, and I'm just going to send it back like this. I made a mistake somewhere along the way. So the sleeves are more set to the front than to the sides. So it fits a little weird. And I just can't go back and fix that. I just can't. I need this to be out of my sight, out of my mind. It's been bringing me a lot of pressure and stress, and I'm not one to usually not finish a commitment, but it's been an extremely weird year, as we all know, and personally I've been going through a lot of things as well, so I just want to continue knitting for myself and for the people around me as I so feel and choose, and I don't want to take on too many sample projects anymore, if any at all, for a long time, because I find that they bring me a lot of stress, as I said. Now, there may be some exceptions, so don't hold me to that, but as far as projects like this, I'm going to have to start saying no. And I do feel really bad for not finishing this project, but I just can't. Sometimes you just have to know when to cut your losses, and you need to do it. And I've learned that, and I feel like that's growth. That is something I've definitely grown in because, oh man, I can think of so many times when I would put myself through so much stress just to do something that probably wasn't worth all that stress in the end. So here it is. I think last time I showed you guys, I was still in the yoke increases. I have since finished the entire body, and yeah, I really like this yarn. It's very stretchy and durable. It is a little bit more rustic style. I may still upload that video. I'm not really sure because I didn't get to block it, and it's not going to be a fair review for the yarn, although I only have wonderful things to say about it. I did not alternate skeins at all, and there is no line whatsoever when I changed skeins, and overall really enjoyed the yarn. I do recommend it if you're looking to get into rustic style yarns. It's fairly nice. And then the pattern itself, very cute. Look how cute this lace is. I love this. The lace went so fast. The piquette bind off went so fast as well. I was unsure of how to do that, and then when I learned, I was very pleased with it, and I definitely want to use it in a project in the future. And the mistake that I made is no fault to the pattern at all. In the pattern, it says knit. It tells you where to split and everything. And then after the second split, it does say knit until beginning of the round, and it doesn't give you how many stitches that is. And so I didn't count, and that's where the mistake happened. So I have too many stitches in the back and not enough in the front. And that's just that. And I did go back in the pattern. It's not supposed to be that way. I did the math and everything. So yeah, it's definitely supposed to be different, and I messed it up, and I don't have the brain space to go fix that at this current time. So this was a fail, and I am sadly going to be letting it go. But it happens, and sometimes you just have to take care of yourself first. And I know that the yarn shop owner, Andrea, I'm hopeful that she will be okay with that, and she'll still be able to salvage this in some sort of way. It's been months, and it's time to just say goodbye. So that is my first work in progress that will no longer be on this channel. You guys won't see the finished object. I won't see the finished object. I don't know if it will ever be a finished object, but I am just happy that I'm going to be opening up time and space and energy for projects for myself so I can get back into my knitting mojo, because I definitely need to work through some of this yarn. So let's go into a project that you guys have seen before, and it's actually using the leftover yarn from my rug sweater. So here is my, my Turtle Dove by Espastre Co. I forgot what it was called. I do that all the time with this sweater. But this is the Turtle Dove by Espastre Co. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I believe it comes in 3 sizes. This also uses a bulky weight yarn. I believe the pattern calls for Woolfolk Luft, which is a yarn I have used before and I do have a review on my channel of, but I am using Knit Picks' Wonder Fluff, which is a very good alternative for that yarn and much cheaper. It is a different fiber content, so if you find alpaca itchy, this will not be for you, but it is a cheaper alternative than the Woolfolk Luft, which is kind of pricey. But I have made some pretty good progress since the last time you guys have seen. This right here, I believe, is where I showed you guys last. That may not be true. I think I might have moved it before I showed you. I don't know. I was somewhere in here when I showed you guys last. But I am on my first sleeve. I did make some alterations to the sleeve. I did like 3 rounds of decreases just to make it a little bit more fitted. And because these sleeves are knit straight down with no decreases or anything, and I just wanted it to be a little bit snugger for me because, I don't know, I just felt like it. So I knit 5 rounds, did a decrease, knit 5 rounds, did a decrease, knit 5 rounds, did a decrease, and now I'm just going to knit into the cuff. Then I'm going to do the cuff, and then I'm going to bind off and do the second sleeve, and then this will finally be done. This has been on my needles for quite some time as well. I opted to do the split hem. As you guys can hopefully see here, I have ends everywhere. I haven't weaved any of them in yet. So, split hem is what I decided to do. And yeah, again, this pattern has a very long turtleneck, as the pattern name would suggest, Turtle Dove. I like it folded down, so whenever I wear it, I will definitely be folding it down. I think it's so cute. And it has the most adorable fit. I really like the fit of this. I have tried it on since I bound off the body, and I'm very pleased with it. So if you guys are thinking about knitting one, I do recommend it. It is a free pattern, as I said. It's not the most size inclusive, but it is an oversized pattern, so hopefully it will allow a lot more people to knit it. And I do recommend the yarn that I'm using if you can't afford the Woolfolk Luft, but again, the fiber content is something that you'll have to decide for yourself. I don't have an issue with it. As you can see, I'm wearing it right now and I'm totally fine. But this does have a higher neck, so that is something to consider because it will be right up there on your neck. And overall, I'm obsessed. I don't know what colorway this is. I think it's just called Heathered. It's just the light gray one that has Heathered dark gray in it. I don't know what else to say about it. I am very bad at keeping labels, so I couldn't tell you. And also I've had this yarn for over a year and I'm very glad to be using it up. This is my last ball of it and it's gonna be all gone, which will feel really good. I think I started off with 10 balls and then I knit this sweater. I tried to knit another sweater that I was designing myself. Didn't like it, so I ripped it out. Started this, so there's a lot of ends in here because I had lots of little balls of yarn. So yeah, it does have twisted ribbing instead of just like a regular ribbing, which I like for this pattern because this yarn, it kind of works a little bit better with, I believe, in my opinion. We're all entitled to that. And that's that. It's a very easy knit, very mindless. I've enjoyed it thus far, and I just need to finish the sleeves. That's my goal for today, but I'm not putting any pressure on myself. It is my day off, so I am going to work on whatever I want to work on because that is how I'm trying to live my life now. I'm not always that good at it. I am using my Leica needles, which are wooden needles, and I'm using a 6.5 millimeter. I'm not sure if that's what the pattern calls for. It might be a size down or a size up from what the pattern calls for. I just really like the gauge of it. And it's kind of cool that I'm wearing a sweater knit with the same yarn because this yarn was a different gauge. I believe I used like a 4.5 millimeter to knit this sweater, so it's a little bit tighter and thicker. And this is definitely a lot drapier already pre-blocked. So I know with blocking, it's going to get even drapier and more beautiful. And it's going to be a great sweater for the fall. I also think that I extended the body of this sweater because I misread the pattern. There is a option to do a rolled hem. So you knit the body all the way until like 10.5 inches and then you bind off. And then there's the split hem option, which is what I went for. And you are supposed to knit for like 5 inches or something and then you do your hem. So I think I knit my body for 10.5 inches and then started the hem. But there's a couple of reasons for that. I wanted to use as much yarn as possible. And I also wanted to be able to wear this with leggings. I think this is going to be the perfect legging sweater. So after I block it, I'm pretty confident it's going to cover my butt nicely and I'll be able to enjoy it this fall and winter with some leggings. And it's the perfect neutral color and I'm obsessed. Highly recommend. That's all I have to say about that. Sometimes I talk really fast and I forget to breathe. Okay. I'm using my back camera today, so I have no idea what you guys are seeing. I hope this is recording. And I keep moving, so my head might be in and out of frame. Sorry about that. Kind of a mess. Like I said, I just woke up. And there's no promises how I'm going to be when I just wake up. Feeling a little crazy today. Anyways, moving right along to the next project that I have. I started a second puff tee. I have finished my first one, and I showed you guys in the last episode. And I had enough yarn left over. This is a Karen latte cake. I don't remember the colorway name. Sorry. And I am making another puff tee for my friend's daughter. And I am going to make this slightly smaller than mine, mostly because she is 11 and I am not 11. She is almost the same size as me, but we're going to go with a little bit smaller. So I am just knitting right along on this. I haven't split for the sleeves yet. We're getting really close. This is a really fast knit, and I've been loving everybody that's been sending me DMs on Instagram and tagging me in their puff tees that they've made because they've been inspired by this yarn and pattern combination. I'm wearing it in my last podcast episode. If you guys haven't seen that, you should definitely check it out because it's an adorable top and I absolutely love it. It's going to be a short sleeve top, and yeah, it's super fuzzy and very like early 2000s, maybe even 90s, but I feel like it's more early 2000s. So here is what I have left of this ball, and I'm hoping that it's enough. I'm pretty sure it's going to be enough, but you never know. So here we are, just another poof tee. I'm going to have it on the screen and link down below as I always do, but number 2. And I really like how it's turning out so far. So I can't wait to get this finished. Maybe I'll work on this a little bit today. This will fly off my needles because it's short sleeves. So once I finish the body, there's nothing more to do really. So here we are. I don't really have anything else to say about this other than I'm using it on my Leica needles and an 8mm and an 8mm. Haven't split for the sleeves. It's a basic raglan style sweater. Very simple. Highly recommend this. I talk about it a lot more in detail in my last episode. And I do also have a Ravelry page for my last one as well. This is essentially going to be the exact same thing. This is the same cake that I used for mine. I had about half the cake left, so I figured I could probably get a second sweater out of it, which is amazing because this yarn is like $10 a cake, which love that. Its affordability is awesome, especially in these times. I know we can't always afford the most expensive yarn, and I try to show a fair balance of affordable yarn and indie dyed, more expensive yarn. I do have a stash, which I am very grateful for, but I do still love my commercial yarns, and I can't wait to get my hands on all of my totes of yarn again. I just want to dive in and see what I own, and I have so many blanket quantities of yarn that are not with me, and I have been craving knitting some big chunky blankets for people and even myself, so I can't wait. And making some videos for you guys. I have been wanting to make some more tutorials so badly. So again, leave a comment down below if you have any tutorial suggestions of what you want to see for this fall and winter, because I might be getting that yarn pretty soon. So just a little slip of mouth there. But yeah, so I have one more work in progress that I want to show you guys, and this one I don't think I've showed you before. So it's living in a bag that I made by myself. I'm so proud of this bag. I love it so much. It's just a drawstring bag. I made this last year and it was a fun experience. And it's got the cutest like fruit pattern on the inside. I don't know. And I am making a cozy classic raglan by Jessie May Designs. And you guys, I love my yarn choice. So here's what it looks like so far. This is the front. It's all bunched up on the needles, but you'll get the idea of the yarn that I'm using, hopefully. So I am holding a fingering weight yarn with a mohair, as the pattern suggests. You could also use a decate weight. I am using these two together. So this is Explorer Knits and Fibers yarn in the colorway Mountains at Dusk, I believe. I don't think she dyes this colorway anymore. I've had this for years. It's from one of her very first updates. And I'm holding that with Knit Pix's, actually I have it right here. Knit Pix's mohair, a loft mohair, and it's in the colorway Carbon. So it's a nice gray blue color. I have this left over from my Aruhu sweater that I knit last year. I had some left over, and then I had this yarn that I was knitting a Sunset Highway with this yarn, and I decided to frog that pattern because I wasn't liking it. My gauge was way off, so it was going to be tiny. This yarn was pulling pretty badly in the body, even though I was doing alternating skeins. It just wasn't going well. And I was laying in bed one night a few months ago, and I was just looking over at my yarn and just thinking of the patterns that I had in the back of my head. And I was like, that would be perfect. It would keep it from looking like it was pulling too much. And I already have all the materials. I might have to order a couple more balls of the mohair, but we'll see. And I just couldn't stop thinking about it. So I knew I wanted to make like a basic sweater with it because it's going to be so busy. So I decided to purchase the Cozy Classic Raglan sweater pattern, opposed to using the no frills pattern that I had, just to try something different. Also, I don't even know where my no frills pattern is because it wasn't in my Ravelry page, so I don't know. Also, I did mess up my increasing a little bit at the very beginning because I didn't understand what they wanted. So it has like these long, tight pulls right here. I don't know if you guys will be able to see. So that's kind of a little bit annoying, but I'm not going to go back and fix it. I'm just going to hope it blocks out and looks fine in the end. It happened on all of them, and then I've gotten better at it and it looks normal again. So I'm not too worried about it. I think it'll be fine. I don't think anybody's going to notice except for me. And I am using a 4.5mm knitting needle. My Chiagus. I love my Chiagus. It's on a pretty short cord right now, so it's kind of hard to see. But again, I just want to show you the beautiful colors that the mohair and the yarn together are making. I love it. This is a dream. I can't wait to work on this again. I'm going to try to finish up those other projects that I have before I really dive into this one, because this one is very beautiful and it just deserves my utmost attention. So, Cozy Classic Raglan. I think I'm making the second size. I think I have enough yarn for that one. I only have 2 balls of this, but I've made most of my sweaters with 2 balls of fingering in the past, so I just decided to go for it. What I'm going to do is, once I split for the sleeves, I'm going to knit a little bit of the body, and then I'm going to knit the sleeves to the length that I want, and then I'm going to go back and just knit however much I want on the body, or however much I can on the body, because I'm okay with a more cropped sweater because I am pretty short, so even like cropped things aren't that cropped on me, but I would prefer my sleeves to be the length that I want them. I think I'm going to knit them a little bit longer than I normally do, because you guys know I like a bracelet length sleeve normally, but I think I want one that goes a little bit onto my knuckle, or like by my knuckles or something. We'll see what happens. I don't know. That's all I'm working on though. Those are my projects. Again, not too much knitting going on recently, but since I decided that I'm not going to finish that one project, I have been knitting a lot more, but that was only like at the beginning of last week. So I have been working a lot, and I've also have a lot of other big things happening behind the scenes, but those are hopefully going to be finishing up very quickly and very soon, and I can focus more on this. I am going to have some other big projects, like I said, that I would love to share with you guys if you're interested. But if you're not, definitely let me know and I will keep them to myself, or maybe make another channel if I so choose. But I am just feeling really good, really satisfied with where I'm at and where I'm going, with the people I'm surrounding myself with. I just can't wait for the future, even more into the future. I feel like I'm in the future now from where I was, and I didn't think I'd ever get here, and now I'm here, and I just am so proud of myself. So if you are going through a difficult time, just know it does get better, and it may get worse, and it may, before it gets better, and there's dips and dives. Trust me, I went through all of them, and sometimes I still do. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes there are down days, but I feel like the good days are outweighing the bad now, and I'm so incredibly proud of myself and how far I've come and where I continue to go, and I just see a broad future for myself and for my dog, and I'm just so excited to share it with you guys. But anyways, that is this episode of the Lunar Knits Podcast. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below so we can chat, and subscribe to my channel for more videos that will hopefully be coming sooner rather than later. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!